Hi, my name is Stephanie. I was in the United States Navy from 1974 through 1977. I knew I was different from a very young age. I really didn't know who I really was till I was about 17 years old. Went to a drive-in movie one night. They had the autobiography of Christine Jorgensen on at the drive-in that night. It was supposed to be the first transgender woman in history. When I saw that movie, I knew that was me. But for years, living in the South, especially then, at that time, there was no care for that or anything. So I kept it suppressed for I don't know how many years. We were deployed 3 different times while I was in service and everything, and I enjoyed my time in service. Got back out here in 77. Really didn't have any mental issues till about 85. At that time, I was working security, and I wore a sidearm. Went out to the dining area where we have a counter, sat down there, took out my sidearm, loaded 1 round in it, trying to make it look like it was an accident, even though it wasn't. And I shot myself. Fortunately, I did no internal damage. They took me to a hospital not far from where I lived. Because I said it was an accident, they let me go home. But I knew I needed help, so I started going to the VA. I had heard about the doctor at the VA who treats transgender veterans. Reached out to him, started going to his support group there. He helped me get an endocrinologist, then a psychiatrist, then a psychologist also. And I feel my life to every one of those doctors at the VA. Talked to a primary care doctor I have on the outside, and she told me to talk to an endocrinologist about the hormones. Now, what made me talk to her then, I don't know. So if there's any way you can help me start hormones, I'm wanting to. And she said, if you want to, I can. So she did. One of the outside psychiatrists I was seeing at the time, I had told her about me. And she knew I was a veteran. She told me about a doctor over at the VA saying he ran a support group for transgender veterans who are transitioning or maybe already transitioned. So I reached out to him, got an appointment with him, and we met and really liked each other, and I started going there. Since I did my transition 6 years ago, I've never been happier to what I am. This, to me, is the biggest step I've ever taken in my life. And I love what I'm doing for myself now. I'm being me for the first time. I know so many trans people who have committed suicide and stuff because of stuff like this. They're afraid to transition. It gets to the point you gotta decide, do you want to be you or do you want to be dead? Being you's better, so please, if you're a veteran and you're trans or whatever, reach out to the VA, please. I'd appreciate it.